The mind that refuses correction builds its own prison stone by stone. It constructs walls of ignorance, illusion, and self-deception that keep the higher light out. But the mind that welcomes truth is freed in an instant, for a single realization has the power to break every chain. The one who ignores truth condemns himself to suffering, repeating cycles of ignorance under the dominion of the dragon, the lower self.
You wonder why the accusation is that the Egyptians worshiped the sun. They weren't worshiping the sun. They were acknowledging the divine symbol of the God within themselves. When your soul opens, it'll look just like that soul up there. And don't you stop meditating until it does. Because that's your nature you're seeing every morning.
Horny contains the word horn, the goat, the animal base instincts. That's why the devil has horns, because it's not a real entity. It's a symbol for the instincts and the lower thoughts that make you take destructive actions. The devil's not tempting you, it's just your lower nature.
You are not an African. You were before there was an Africa. Christopher Columbus is not our origin, so he can't call me a West Indian. Neither is Africanus our origin. And you're all arguing and fighting with each other over a term that does not apply to you. They named this country after Amerigo Vespucci, one of the grafted members of a grafted people that are Johnny-come-latelys on our earth. Now you're going to call yourself an American and an African, both of them named by Caucasian people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, what is the square mileage of the earth? How much is the land and how much is the water? The earth is 196,940,000 square miles. And the land is 57,255,000 square miles. And the water is 139,685,000 square miles. Don't tell me about Africa's my home. No, the earth is my home. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And we are the Lord's that the fullness of the earth belongs to. So don't you narrow yourself again after today.
Here's a 1671 map. These are not Indians though. These is Moorish Americans. Paraguay. This map depicts the Aboriginal indigenous natives wearing tobacco leaf headdresses and Moorish turbans. This is Central and South America. This artwork, you could go to New York Public Library, Google it or go in person. So clearly, these indigenous inhabitants of so-called South America are Asiatic. Present day Argentina.
Oh my God!
Cordoba, Peru, and Brazil. Chile, including Bolivia, Santa Cruz, near the Rio de Janeiro.
What the fuck?
They all dressed in Moorish turbans. Here's another receipt. Now, he got feathers symbolizing Moorish clothing. He got it on. So do she. She got a turban on. That's a Moorish turban.
What?
Look how they dress. Moors dressing like this in Europe.
Crazy work.
1700s. See that? The Moorish turban on and the Moorish feathers on their crowns. Okay. Look how they dressing. He got a Moorish turban on. See? Indian Americans though. Look at that.
But you know, he's talking this shit. You know, what we supposed to stop him?
You can't do it.
What he's doing is incredible. And he has another opportunity to shut everybody up.
I'm coming back. Just check the pulse, you feel the heat from the tracks. Baby net and that more, I'm on your back. Fall behind my back, well I've heard it all before. But I'm stepping out, so you know I'm ready for war. You thought I stayed down, drowning your doubt. But I'm rising up, and I'm ready to shout. I'm on your neck, baby net, I'm here to collect. Add more, watch out, I'm coming. For your respect, for the young and the old, my name Wonder where I'm at, check your past, don't forget. I forgive, won't forget. Baby, that's a bet. This is a warning, but I heed my call. The dead has arisen, I'm ready to brawl. I'm on your neck, babe my neck. I'm here to collect. Ask more, watch out, I'm loving. For your respect, for the young and the old. My name ringing like that. Money long as the road. So I know I'm a threat. Just remember my name, that goes in your head. From beginning to end, oh, your reputation's there.
My name is Hakeem H.Y. Bey. I'm the Minister of Education for the Great Seal Moors up here in New York City, known as the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. We are a group of free and sovereign Moors who have come together and have decided to collectively govern ourselves because we feel that there are certain benefits to be derived from doing that. We have our own constitution, which is registered with the federal government, and we have our own governmental structure, which we are in the process of developing further. We have our own so-called license plates, known as Moorish driver's tags. We have our own Moorish driver's certificate. We have our own Moorish birth certificate, marriage certificate, and so on down the line. We are striving to do everything. We don't want to just talk about being a nation or ask somebody, can we be a nation? We're just going to be a nation. We're just going to be it. Simple as that. And nobody can say that what we're doing is wrong or invalid, because they have what's in law what's known as the compact theory of law, which states that if a group of free people who have declared themselves free people get together and decide to collectively govern themselves, compact together to collectively govern themselves by reason of their mutual agreement, that makes that government valid. This is what the Europeans on the Mayflower did before they reached land, known as the Mayflower Compact. They was a group who compacted together, collectively governed themselves, and they landed, and you have what's known as the state of Massachusetts now. So if they come to us and say what we are doing is invalid, then what you did back then is invalid, and you don't exist and have no jurisdiction over us anyway. So we are taking some of the very similar documents that they've used, the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, things that we gave to them. These are documents we already had a federal government established in this hemisphere before the Europeans even thought about setting up anything over here. Our government in this hemisphere went from Alaska to Chile. This whole hemisphere, where we are standing at right now, is what's known as Atlantis, part of which sunk into the Atlantic Ocean. Right here, the European would have us to believe that all of us are brought over here in the hulls of slave ships. And this is what most of us believe, that most of us are brought over here in the hulls of slave ships. But, you know, I heard the Empress say this one day, and I'm going to just touch on who the Empress is in a minute also. She said, just think about it for a minute. How, if you put 500 people in the bottom of a ship, they're not wearing diapers. They would have drowned their own urine and feces making that type of crossing. They wasn't bringing these people up to 500 people up to the deck every day to go to the bathroom. That's a security risk. So you got to think, you got to ask yourself a question. Why are they perpetuating this myth that we were all brought up here? There were tens of millions of us already here, set up, established. Where they're talking about the Olmecs, the Mayan, these different civilizations, we had set up already over here. Now the Empress is a Moorish sister down in Louisiana who has won back 70,000 acres of our land here in this hemisphere. Showing you that what I'm saying is not no lie. This was won in federal court, that this was our land. The name of those particular people are the Washita Moors. And later on, their names was changed by the European government to Washington. You have the Washita, and you have the Washita in the Tunica tribe, who was later changed to the Turner. And this is where you get Nat Turner and them looking for that Holy Land. Now what happened, the reason why she was able to win this land back in Louisiana was because in the Louisiana Purchase, all America actually purchased was the streets of New Orleans and the military barracks. According to the treaty, the land was reserved for the ancient ones, who were us who built those mounds and pyramids all up and down this hemisphere. The elders in this Moorish civilization, the elders have given us certain lessons. And I myself have received lessons from the elders, and I have taken these lessons and did the research to find out whether it's true or not, because when all this hit me at first, I was like, no, this ain't jarring, right? I studied for about 12 years. I studied under Dr. Ben at one time, Clark, the whole thing. I've been selling these books for years now. For years, I've read a good deal of them, What I seen coming from the Moors was hitting a nerve somewhere else, and I had to figure this out. Now, when I personally did research on my family roots and everything, I couldn't find no stories about Africa. I found out that we were Cherokee. I found out that we owned prime land down in North Carolina. Prime land. Could property own property? If we were slaves and we were property, how could property own property? Prime land. Beachfront property. And my grandmother them told me that the white people came and took it and made it into an all-white resort, beachfront property resort, or whatever the case may be. And my grandfather told me that they cleared those trees down with their hands themselves and made all the roads there. The name of the town in North Carolina is Latham, North Carolina. The whole town was named after my great-grandfather. So most of us, when we trace our history back, we will find it don't lead no further than this right here. We are aboriginal right here. This is the fabled land of Atlantis. When the Egyptians spoke of Atlantis and spoke to the Greeks, they said, you go through them straits of Gibraltar, and in that ocean there's an island, and there's a continent, and there's a number of series of smaller islands. This is Atlantis. They said the kings of that land was so mighty, that empire was so vast and mighty, kings were so rich and famous, there would never be kings as rich and famous as these kings. And this is the Egyptians speaking. There was a mighty empire here. Down in Yucatan, Mexico, you have what we call the Pyramid University. This is where the Moorish dispensation of civilization began, because there they perfect the science of mathematics scaling from 0 to 9, the zodiac, and geometry. And that was our science. That's why when you look on the back of the dollar bill, you see there's two seals here. This is the only nation with a two-sided seal. This seal you see here with the pyramid is the seal of our ancestors and our federal government that we had set up here in this hemisphere going way back. This is the seal of the 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. That is why above our seal says Annuit Coeptus. He had favored our undertaking. I mean, it was our federal government here that was already established, what they call Iroquois Confederacy, so on and so forth, was already established, that taught them the science of government and allowed them to set up here. And you see this flag has 6 white stripes and 7 red. And the elders taught us that those 6 white stripes stand for the British, the Irish, the Scottish, the French, the Dutch, and the German. The 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. And all they had initially was the eastern seaboard. The rest was ours. The elders also taught us some things. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but do the research and you're going to be surprised at what you find. The elders taught us that the original Nile was here. Old man Mississippi. The Missouri being the blue and the Ohio being the white. Until this day, where them two come together, there's a city there called Cairo to this day. And that area is called Little Egypt. Then you go down into what the elders taught us with Alabama and so on and so forth being Lower Egypt. Then you get into Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphite theology. Kentucky, King Tut. And then you start to look a little further, And then you find out that there was an archaeological cover-up involving the Smithsonian Institute, where they found thousands and thousands of artifacts. They found artifacts showing human beings contemporary with dinosaurs. A lot of this information they put on ships and dumped into the Atlantic Ocean. Some of it they got still in hidden chambers that they say you can't go in there because it got asbestos and it's unsafe. There's a part of the Grand Canyon where they have all Egyptian names, Tet, Osiris, Isis, and they got that part blocked off. They said it's too dangerous for the people to go there. To this day, this exists. The elders, I'm just hitting a number of different points because there's so much to this. You know, I've done over 15,000 hours of research. I nearly sleep in libraries. I live in libraries. This is the reason why I started publishing the books I have back there, because I have so much stuff in my library, and it's hard to get, it's hard to find, so I said, let me just make it available. And they all $3, $4, and $5 to make these bits and pieces available because these are important missing links. The history that we have now was mainly concocted around the period of 1854 to 1865. I should say it was really perfected during that time, and it involved a man by the name of Horace Greeley. Horace Greeley was the editor of a newspaper here in New York called the New York Tribune, one of the largest papers not only in America but throughout the European world. Karl Marx was just the London correspondent for the New York Tribune. It was Greeley who published Marx's books. This is a worldwide conspiracy. They called themselves the Utopian Socialists. This is one of their names. And they came together, and I found a letter one time between Horace Greeley and another man. And in this letter, this is before the Communist Manifesto so and so was published, and they was talking about what we're going to do about this industrial civilization, this industrial revolution. The people were poor, starving. They sincerely wanted to make a change and make a difference. So Marx Greeley took on the position of the state owned everything type of thing, communism, socialist type of thing. Whereas the other man said, no, let's do the welfare state where people give charity out the good of their heart. Well, they both, what happened was that they went with both. They said, look, we'll keep the welfare state here, and we'll export the communist experiment over there. And see, this was a worldwide conspiracy. They changed the books, all the teachers in the institutions of higher learning. I'm gonna get ready to wind up. I just want to go through this course outline real quick. This is a course that I teach furthermore, and you know, before I came in, there was no place you could go to formally learn about what this is all about more. So I put together this course because there was a need for it. I'm just going to read quickly, if I may, the points on the outline, and I'm going to just leave it at that, and I'll let you know how the course is available. The first lesson is called the Zodiac Key, and that lesson gets into the foundations of what we call moral civilization and how we utilize the zodiac, mathematics and geometry. The lesson number 2 is Zodiacus, and that deals with the androgynous woman who were here first and brought the male about. And this was because the woman had to go through a certain types of experiences. She had a design for new types of experiences, namely of the sexual nature. And this is why males were produced. We're just exaggeration of a certain parts of the woman's body. The clitoris, the penis, and so on and so forth. There's a lot to this. In this lesson, we even have, we show you the chromosomes. How the woman has 2 X chromosomes, the man has an X and Y chromosome. The Y chromosome is actually a degenerate form of the X chromosome. And we get into it, about the matriarchal and everything, the whole 9. 3, the history of Yaqub. And this deals with the team of, and this is where connected with the lessons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This shows you where a team of scientists in Yucatan, Mexico, the premier university down there, made the European race through a series of genetic experiments. And it was involving a certain animal known as the Negro, Javiro, Arab, chimpanzee. And the combination of these two, and this is where you get the Sasquatch, this is where you get Darwin's theory of evolution, which is no more than intermediary stages of this experimentation that was taking place. And they made a movie one time called The Owls of Dr. Moreau, where they was experimenting with these type of things.
Listen to this track, bitch. Whenever I eat. Whenever I eat. Ain't no niggas out here gon' stop us. Remix. Whenever I eat, my nigga, you eat. And ain't no niggas out here gon' stop us. Whenever I score, my nigga, you score. Ain't even worried about them damn feds and coppers. They wanna know who I am, what's my name, where I'm from, and what I claim. Allow me to introduce myself. Allow me to introduce myself. Mister, you my nigga, you my bone flesh, heart, soul, nigga, you my liver. So if you die tonight, shit, I guess I'm going with you. Cause if you're going to war, regardless, I'm throwing with you. If I got a whole brick, shit, he getting off a half. If my dick in a cat, he stick it in the mouth of ass. So if I make me a stack, he get 500 cash. And if I borrow 4 from him, he get 5 of them back. So if I meet me a little freak by myself and she a flipper, shit, I'm coming to get you. It won't flip her till I'm with you. If Beyonce wanted to fuck and my nigga was in trouble, I'll put that pussy to the side and get to my niggas on the double. Shit, I love my nigga, so I hug my nigga. Never place a pussy up above my nigga. If you love your bitch, then hug your bitch. And never place a dick up above your bitch. Whenever I eat, my nigga, you eat. And ain't no niggas out here gon' stop us. Whenever I score, my nigga, you score. Ain't even worried about them damn feds and coppers. They won't know who I am, what's my name, where I'm from, and what I claim. Allow me to introduce myself. Allow me to introduce myself. We on the block for paper as we flip the rocks in major. As we reside the gators, we could say the blocks a favor. Position dropping labor like a top drop Mercedes. Chopper spray the block, the haters running like a operator. We say the cops are later than ever to stop the slayer. Papa K or AR for safety if you try to play us. You always gotta pay us. We don't play that I'ma pay ya. I'm no sweet. Now or later, now we say we want the paper. What we provide for haters, they never survive to make it. And as I rise a gator, I can say that I'm a caver. I'm no player, I don't hate her. I won't rape her, I won't take her. I'm talking that white girl, I'm the maker, I create her. Put her in the pot and lace her. All the fiends that drive them crazy. When they taste it, I can say it never fails to rock a crater. Numb you up and shock a taser. On point without a laser. Keep it on the block and stay, don't tell my focus I'm a I eat, my nigga, you eat. And ain't no niggas out here gon' stop us. Whenever I score, my nigga, you score. Ain't even worried about them damn feds and coppers. They won't know, they won't know what's my name, where I'm from, and what I claim. Allow me to introduce myself. Allow me to introduce myself. Hey, who I am and where I'm from.
Just people, children of hell. What is hell? Hell is the lower mind. Hell is the desire that burns within us constantly to have. Hell is the anger and hate that roars. It's the fear and guilt that lives within. It's the guilt that makes us feel so inadequate. It's the fear of what's going to happen if I step out of line from what they want me to do. That's hell. And Jesus says religious people who are in bondage to their own lower minds of hell convert people to their ways. And when somebody from hell converts you to follow them, you're going to just amplify it. Because you know what happens when you go to a special church? You ever go to these churches? And I'm sure you have. Everybody in here has been to one of these churches. And you know what you do? You come back and say, I have found it. I'm so filled with joy. I'm so filled with overflowing. I've really found this is a wonderful church. You don't believe the church I'm going to. Oh, all this stuff I've learned. And then you really go out and you say, Don, you got to come to the church. Just come to the church. Right, really get Don to come. Just come to the church. Let me there. Please come to the church. And then you got him. And you, before you know it, you got 15 people coming what? Coming to be taught by the child of hell, who you think is very religious. The child of hell means what aspect of your personality is born out of the lower mind. Children in the Bible mean those things that are offsprings. What is born out of your lower mind?
I knew this was gonna happen. Somewhere in this show, I just didn't know it was all Fred.
So the Hebrews, they think that they are different, and when you say that you are more.
Do tell.
Whole time you the same people. Because linguistically, the language that you speaking, the Moorish language, includes the Hebrew language.
What?
Let's show and prove though. These plurals go back to the singular form El, which later, during and after the time of the Moorish reformer of 1400 years ago, Mustafa Muhammad El-Ayin, often called Prophet Muhammad, became more popularly known as Allah, and in other Moorish Semitic circles, Elo. However, El, pre-Muhammad era, was the common name for God.
Y'all about to pay attention to this. This shit real, bro.
You go to pedigree. The first 5 tribes, Moorish free national names, go something like this: El, Bay, Day, Al, and Ali.
What did he say?
These are the 5 civilized tribes that came together to form a union called the Iroquois Confederation, and establishing the law of the Great Peace.
I told you! No, but you wouldn't listen. Look at you now.
Let him cook. I'm gonna let him.
This confederation formed the first of the 4 constitutions, the Articles of Confederation, which later spawned Articles of Association, the Declaration of Independence, and the original organic Constitution of America.
We've never seen this. None of us have.
Bing fucking bong.
Oh, bro, great.
This is the Iroquois Confederation, the 5 civilized Moorish tribes. That's why you had the 4 constitutions. And when you go back to that El, right? El means what? It's the lawmakers and givers of North Gate. Elohim of the cosmos, likened to executives. Legislative branch means God, force, or power. So when you say that you one of these 5 tribes, you say that you were El, you were Bay, you were Day, you were Al, you were Ali. You still dealing with the Iroquois Confederation.
He hot. He hot as fish grease.
The so-called Indian, that is a slave brand that was placed on the original 5 civilized tribes who came together to form the union called the Iroquois Confederation.
We got to make it so where they can't underestimate it, where they can't doubt us, where there's nothing to say. We got to leave nothing on the table, and that's what we did.
Grand opening, grand close. Grand opening, grand close. Ew.
Because black men are least likely to be given a crutch when times get hard. If you look back over history, when a black woman can't feed her child, she gets a check from the government. When a black man can't feed his child, he goes to jail. So for right now, we're not really concerned about whether somebody likes us. Black men have started to step and be more logical, and they're gonna save the country. I think that the black community does actually need strong nuclear families, but not because we're black, but because that's the natural order. Because when God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife, child. And that's the natural order. And that's why I think we can see some of the foolishness that we see in the black community, because we are out of order. And we can make up all of this stuff that sounds good. I'm from a single parent home, and I'm not somewhere cracked out in the street selling my body. However, that is not ideal. It would have been better for me to be in God's order, to have a mother and a father to raise me. And that's just what it is. You know, the effect that it's had, we've had women for generations now saying that they don't need a man, and we have boys that don't want to be one. Because black men are least likely to be given a crutch.